Hello, welcome to this um, Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I still can't see the playback for me. I don't know what's going on. Apparently, it's working. It's crazy, but it's bizarre. All right, just started yesterday. This problem. So I have two 40% alcohol gold tequilas. This is um, Juarez. Oh, I'm sorry, not Juarez. I do have that. This is Tijuana with the Mexican flag and an Aztec bird. Tijuana Oro, tequila with natural flavors, bottled in Kentucky by the Sazerac Company, worldwide importers. See something here. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just have to work through that bizarre circumstance. All right. So next time I do this, I'm going to try a different browser, web browser, and see if there's something to do with this, what I'm using. Okay. So this is the Jose Cuervo Tradicional, which is 100% agave, and it was introduced in 1978. And it uses a plastic rubber cap. It's a wooden cap, but it's like plastic or rubber. I don't know. It's not neoprene because it's too. Neoprene is spongy. This is like hard plastic. It's strange, or semi-hard plastic. It's a strange cap. Never seen one like that before. This one's just a plastic screw cap. It's very inexpensive. I've never seen it in my town, but I bought this in Marrero, Louisiana at I think it was Discount Depot or Savannah Discount. One of the two. They both had it, and then it was like a different price, but it was like $6.99 for a liter, something like that. Yeah, it was $6.99 for the liter. So that's how that went down. Maybe it's going up $1 now. Maybe it's $7.99 a liter or $8.99, but it's very inexpensive. But I see it in closer to New Orleans, but I've not seen it in this town. Now the Cuervo Tradicional, Jose Cuervo Tradicional from Proximo Spirits, which I'll repeat again, did not buy Jose Cuervo. They did not buy out, but it is a plastic cap, so never mind. I said wooden, never mind. No, they did not buy Jose Cuervo. They are Jose Cuervo, okay? It's just a umbrella company that the people created for their liquors. So they're both very light. I think the Cuervo is a little lighter, but it's barely any different. There's barely any difference in appearance. Now we can turn on the lamps because I've shown the products. Oh yeah, I'll do a screen share and show you the Cuervo website. There is no website for the Tijuana Oro. So they got cocktails that you could make with this Tradicional. Then there's a scrolling thing there about, and then you see they changed as much information as they used to. They used to give the whole history, like we got with this in 1978. There's a line extension and so forth. And there's a silver one. There's a like a black one, kind of like they call it. 100% blue agave is aged, but they don't say for how long. Just essence and cooked agave flavor with stewed tropical fruits. I didn't taste any tropical fruits. Oh, here's more of a description. Artisanal, charred oak, and very tequilero in character. Light straw in color. Now all of these fancy descriptions, I'm not picking all that up, but I usually don't when I do these liquors. They'll describe things that I never see. And I was shocked last night. I was like so stunned. First, the black screen, I couldn't get that. I don't understand. I couldn't see my own playback. Secondly, so that had me disoriented. Secondly, I was careful to pour them in the right glasses, and I thought, oh, this is a cinch. One was peppery, savory in the nose, had more character in the nose, had more like life in the nose. So I did the challenge, and I was wrong. It was the regular Cuervo, the mixto of all things, that I preferred. So I was like, Fred Sanford on Sanford and Son, and I was like, oh, I got to do another challenge, to see if the screen's going to work, and it's still not working. But like I said, I'm going to try this on a different platform. And then secondly, I got it wrong again. So I was so shocked. I felt like I was drugged after. I was like, I've been drugged with medicine, but it wasn't medicine. It was drugged with alcohol. But so I didn't like that feeling. But some people are into that, they say every night I'm getting lit up and all of this, and that ain't me, y'all. So I was just stunned, and so I said, I thought this would be 100%. I would get it 100% correct, which means every time, but I didn't, and I was flabbergasted. So now let's see what happens. Now, I don't like this approach of this tequila with natural flavors. Now, I know your argument might be, well, what if the flavors are good? Fair. I just would rather it be the tequila by itself without the flavoring, or the Canadian whiskey by itself without the flavoring, or the bourbon without the flavor. You say, but well, it's there. It's on the shelf. It's obviously allowed. It's obviously allowed by virtue of the fact that I bought it. But I don't know. It's sort of like cheating. But then you could say, yeah, but you're paying $6.99 for a liter. Who cares if they're cheating? It's not exactly a connoisseur product to start with. I know. You're right. Okay, but it is what it is. So I'm a little concerned, but let's go taste challenge now. Taste time. There's the agave, obviously, and a little pepperiness, and it's like sugar and vanilla. I don't know why I'm too reluctant to talk about it, because on their own website, they're talking about stewed vegetables or whatever, stewed fruit. Vanilla, clove. Okay, I said vanilla, clove, cinnamon, toffee. I don't know about all of that. I don't know about all that. Yes, yeah, stewed tropical fruits. This one's got a little pepperiness, a little sugariness. To me, I'm gonna tell you right now, to me, tequila is very sugary in taste. To me, I find it's very sugary in the flavor. I don't know why. I guess it's just sugary. A lot of whiskey to me tastes like sugar water. You say, oh, you got that virus back in 2020, and that's why your taste is all crazy. It did affect my smell. I still can't smell cologne properly. Cologne, I used to love smelling cologne, with people wearing cologne. I was like, man, I wonder what brand that is. And now I just smell like chemicals. Can't stand it. It even hurts my nose. So yeah, there was a damage from it. But I thought that whiskey tasted like sugar water long before I had that strange virus, you know. So that can't be the factor there. I think the factor is that it's just sweet. Um, okay, now here's the funny part. If you want to say funny, I don't mean funny like comical. I mean funny like strange. Uh, I'm not noticing that big of a difference. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It should be wide, right? This thing's this thing was 25.99 or 26.99, something like that. I can still find it for 29.99. Mathern's has it 29.99. Total Wine might have it for 20. You know, Total Wine's always undercutting everybody, which is cool. You know, I'm a free enterprise guy. Don't think I'm not. I'm probably the most free enterprise person you've ever watched or talked to if you've talked to me. Um, let's see. Jose Cuervo. 25.99. Yeah, I bought two bottles, one silver and one gold, and I bought them at Walmart. And when I bought them last year, it was like the silver and the silver were the same price, right? The Jose Cuervo silver, just the regular mixed toe silver, was like 24.99, and then the Tradicional was 24.99. And I was like, oh, there goes Walmart again, screwing up their tags. You know, I said when I go to ring it up, it's going to be, you know, when the lady rings it up, it's going to be wrong. No, it was still 24.99. I was like, well, that's strange. And then the gold was like $2 more. But either way, it wasn't expensive, and you can get a whole handle of this stuff. You know, the big jug bottle glass for 42.99. There's your deal. There is your deal. But is it your deal? It's the deal if it's way better, right? It's not the deal if it's like a little bit better. It's not a deal. And I see a lot of people making a big deal out of mixed toe versus 100% agave. And they'll say, oh, no, you can't get mixed toe. It's no good. And it's so obvious if you get 100% agave blend tequila, because they usually blend in different barrels and batches blend. It's so obvious which is which. But is it really obvious? Because I'm doing a taste challenge right now, blind, double blind, because my screen is black right now. I got to figure out what's going on here. It's not my camera because it's working. You can see the video, but I can't see the playback. Something's wrong with the. I think it's the browser, but Jean-Pierre, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Yeah, I was saying I can't see my screen. I mean, I can see my screen. I can't see what the camera's showing, which is the first time this ever happened in my life. Since yesterday. He's eating a pomegranate. Okay. Breakfast there. Pomegranate. Joe Hill says morning round, almost opening day. Yep. 2 more days. They already had 2 games, right? San Diego and Los Angeles. And it was split. LA won the first game. SD won the second game. Yeah. I'm 3 challenges in, and I'm not seeing much difference. Now with the silver, big difference. It was easily discernible. I'll say every time, oh, that's the silver rep. That's the Tradicional. Every time, got it. But that was the silver. This is the gold, and I'm not seeing a big difference. So I can't speak one over the other because the silver and the gold is different product. They are different products, right? Right. So the gold is not standing out, which is a shock, honestly. But that's the reality of what I'm looking at. That's the reality of what I'm tasting. That's the reality of what I'm dealing with. And I'm just going to have to live with it. What else am I going to do? Cancel the series? I could do that. That'd be a cop out. It wouldn't even make any sense. So no, I am not really seeing where the Tradicional is making much of a difference. Like I said, I can't even see what I'm showing, but I mean I know I'm in front of the camera, but yeah. So I'm gonna have to give the win, if one should call this a win, to the Tijuana by virtue of the fact that they're not that different. Can't really say one tastes better than the other or worse because they don't. Uh, so you can get this one so much cheaper, a monstrous difference in price. And I don't think you've lost anything. As shabby as it may seem by reading the label, you know it's a mixed toe. So it's probably 49% fermented sugar cane water, a la sugarcane vodka type substance, and 49% pure agave. Now I got to be 49% pure agave. But then they're adding natural flavors to it, of all things. And it's bottled in Kentucky. That's not really, the romance of old Mexico, bottled in Kentucky. So you don't have that cachet with it. But the flavor is holding up against its much superior competitor, which is where we are at this moment. So I'm going to give it one last taste and call it. And my confidence level is shattered. But I guess I got to blame the product. Why should I blame myself and be all distraught about it? And the answer is I'm not going to blame myself and I'm not going to be distraught about it. So I'm saying this is the Cuervo and it's marginally better, if it's at all better. No. If it's better. It is the Cuervo. The only thing that set it apart was a little bit more pepperiness, probably by virtue of the fact that it's 100% agave, which has that peppery character, versus being mixed. But to say it's a significant or meaningful difference, I would say no, it is not a significant or meaningful difference. So what we have at this particular moment is a situation where the Cuervo has lost 3 in a row. I have 1 win and 2 losses. That's my problem. But now the Cuervo has not won a battle. The silver, yes, blew through the competition with taking no prisoners. But I got to get off of that. I got to detach myself from that. This is the gold. And so far it is 1-0 and lost 3 because it is not standing out in the blind taste test. Now, if I didn't do it blind, if I was doing it by looking at the bottles and pouring them, I'll probably be totally different, talking about how much better it was by just bias. I'd be biased. I would say, oh yes, clearly it's better. Anyone would know that. But if you think that this is a ridiculous video and that I should clearly be able to tell, go ahead. You make the taste challenges. Do your own. Stage your own. Live, of course. And I will watch them and let's see it happen, because I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I see people talking, but I don't see the action. I see people telling me about beer. Oh, this beer is clearly better than that. Okay, how do you know that? Oh, it's just common knowledge. Okay, have you done a taste challenge? Oh, no, of course I haven't done a taste challenge. Okay, well then, I'm talking about comparable products, not, well, this Imperial Stout's better than this light lager. Well, that's, you obviously wouldn't do a taste challenge with those because it would be nonsensical. And I do see people doing taste challenges sometimes that seem to make little sense. Like an amber lager against a regular yellow fizzy lager, which I like. I'm about to go buy some. But it's like, well, yeah, they're not going to taste the same. You're not going to confuse toast, like toasted bread crust that with the amber beers and the caramel and all, with something that's not going to have those characteristics. You're just not going to. Unless it's Yingling traditional, with traditional, because I find Yingling tastes like regular beer. Like I'm talking about the traditional. It's brown, but you tasting it, and it's like, well, this just tastes like any other regular beer. Uh, so then I keep thinking, are they adding caramel color into it? You can add color. You are allowed. You are allowed to add caramel color to beer, by the way. And I never had the nerve to ask them. I never would. I was too embarrassed to call them or send them an email asking them that question. I'm just telling you, I never did. But I did drink the traditional lager at the fish fries. I worked at 3 or 4 Knights of Columbus fish fries and shrimp fries this year during Lent. And I was drinking that because they said you could get a beer, and they had Bud Light. And I was like, nah. Coors Light, nah. Miller Light, I don't think so. And traditional, Michelob Ultra, even no, even more of a no because it's so bland. And then Yingling, I said, well, I'll get the Yingling, and it did kind of have some amber characteristics. I have to admit that now, drinking it. So, but yeah, if you're going to do a taste challenge, make it sensible. Don't do a Radler versus a chocolate stout because A, it's not a challenge, and B, no one would ever confuse those two, and it makes little sense. And I see people doing this more these days in a troubling way. Or they'll take a 10% beer and put it up against a 4.1 light, like Bush Light. I was like, no, and they're like, wow, that's really different. I'm like, yeah, no, duh. I guess it is. That's not the point of a taste challenge, to do things that are obviously different and then say, oh, look, they're obviously different. No, that's apparent. We don't need to do that. No, it's to take things that are not obviously different, and then, although you might think they are, and then do a taste challenge to see if you really can tell it apart, like you claim you can when you're looking at it visual. You have a visual impact with that. So that's the point of the taste challenge. You want it to be comparable. You want to do, say, a malt liquor versus a malt liquor. If you want to do a strawberry flavored lager, fine. Do a Beta strawberry lager versus Shiner strawberry lager. That's comparable. That makes sense. A Mexican beer, Modelo Lager Especial versus Dos Equis Lager Especial. That makes sense. A Pilsner, Radaburger versus Koenig Pilsner. Makes sense. They're comparable. Okay, you're not gonna. It's not going to be some nonsensical matchup. Okay, but don't do. I even see people doing even worse. Different types of liquor, one versus the other. I've seen this maybe only once, thankfully. It was like, I'm gonna do this Scotch whiskey versus a bourbon, and the guy's like, man, these are pretty different, and I'm like, oh, really? Wonder why that is. So yeah, the intelligence would play a role in these things, I think. Okay, and logic. Do you think skeins will debut sooner rather than later? Good question. Answer: I don't know. So your choices are yes, no, or I don't know. I have to go with the third choice. I don't know. I really can't, I don't have a handle on that. I hope it's sooner if he's ready, of course. Paul Skeens. I hope it's sooner, but it's a tough question. Tougher than this challenge, which was dang tough. All right, we all take care. Gee whiz, I hope when I go up against, let's see, this is Tijuana. Let's see, I did the El Toro, a fiasco challenge. The Jose Cuervo before that, gold, which was another fiasco. Did this one, which turned out okay, but it was much tougher than it should be, you would think. I have the Montezuma from 1974, Montezuma Gold, tequila gold, no flavoring added, thankfully. I don't know what to think. I have Juarez from our friends at MGP, their Luxco division, Luxco. The first product Luxco ever made, by the way, or had made for them. They said it on the website. This is the first product we ever made. Juarez tequila. Strange that they would pick a tequila to be the first product, right? But that's what they did. 1959. Well, went on the market in 1960, but the company, they got it established in 59. But like they say on the website, they didn't start till 60 selling stuff. Oh, that's very close. And then I have the the Hornitos Black Barrel. Obviously, that's almost like going against my own argument of don't match up things that are not comparable, because that one you could say aged in charred oak, that might not really be a good matchup. But then if what I just read, you saw I just read on the Jose Cuervo website, Cuervo.com, this is aged in charred oak. It says aged in charred oak, except it doesn't seem to make much difference. That's the curious part about it. So then we'll be on the mezcal, and I gotta look at this mezcal, this new mezcal I have. It costs about $30. It's called Jicaru. I think I got it for a little cheap, about $26.99. Sometimes I find these deals, but not too much on mezcal. It's called Jicaru. It's independent company. Most of them aren't. They'll try to pose themselves as independent, but then you start researching. It's like, no, that's Diageo. No, that's Pernod Ricard. No, that's Sazerac. But this one really is. It's no parent company. It's a guy. He owns it. Now the guy might be a millionaire because it looks like he owns a resort in Mexico where people go and stay, like like a wedding resort, they call it. And they were showing all these fancy rooms and banquet hall and everything. And they make tequila, and I mean mezcal. I meant to say mezcal, and they might make tequila too. But Jicaru, from way down south, almost to the Pacific Ocean there in Oaxaca. So yeah, I don't know what to think about it. I haven't even looked up any videos for it, but there may be some. All right, well, y'all take care and try to figure out this camera thing here. All right, bye-bye.